Okay, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about 9:45 p.m. on July the 9th, 2020, and it's all going to be about Fay. That's what we're going to be discussing in this weather update. Tropical Storm Fay. We're going to take a look at the latest right now from the Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Fay. All right, so Fay is expected to produce 3 to 5 inches of rain with isolated totals of 8 inches along and near the track across the mid-Atlantic states into southeast New York and southern New England. These rains may result in flash flooding where the heaviest amounts occur. Widespread river flooding is not expected at this time. Tropical storm conditions are expected along portions of the mid-Atlantic and northeast coast Friday and Friday night, and a tropical storm warning has been issued for the coasts of New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, including Long Island, so we are under a tropical storm warning. So let's take a look at the latest public advisory on Tropical Storm Fay. So Fay is moving northward east of the North Carolina coast, expected to bring heavy rainfall and gusty winds to portions of the mid-Atlantic coast and southern New England. Its location is about 36.0 north and 74.8 west. It's about 70 miles northeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, or about 140 miles south-southeast of Ocean City, Maryland. Maximum sustained winds are 45 miles an hour. Its movement is north at 8 miles per hour. And the minimum central pressure, 1005 millibars or 29.68 inches. And so this is a very interesting type of storm here. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 140 miles from the center. And this storm is let's take a look at it on the satellite. This is what it looked like earlier today on the satellite. You can see it really nicely here. Let's refresh this satellite and make it a little longer. Make it 72, and we'll refresh it so you can get an idea of what this thing looks like. Look at that. It's really looking healthy. I gotta admit, this thing is looking very healthy, and it's got plenty of warm water to work with. We know the water temperatures are above normal. They're in the mid-70s south of Long Island, and if in the area it's in right now, they're at least 80. And the scary thing is, here we are. It's only early July, and our water temperature is going to go above 80, which means that it's not so much this that we got to be concerned about. It's down the line. It's going to be a very ugly season for us, I think. Warm winter, everything is just, kind of. But anyway, look at the outflow boundary on this thing. So you can see the outflow. I mean, I don't mean outflow boundary. I mean, look at the outflow. This thing looks quite healthy, actually. As you see it right there, quite healthy. So we're under a tropical storm warning. And today was not a bad day. We're going to just go over the current conditions. Today was it was warm and it was humid, but the southeast winds kind of kept the temperatures down on the island somewhat. Right now we're in the mid-70s. Of course, in the alley it's 80, but it's very humid out. So dew points are well into the 70s almost everywhere, and that's actually even more humid. You got mid-70s dew points down at the Jersey Shore. These are the current conditions. You can see that southeast flow already setting, and you see that red. That is for the tropical storm warning, and then the flood watches up to our north and the west there. We're going to look at some of the high temperatures today across our area just very briefly. So it's 79 right now at Farmingdale. Dew point is 72. That's what they're reporting. Wow. So 70. So still pretty warm out there. So I guess the alley isn't that far off. It did hit 87, and it was in the mid 80s when I did take a walk in Pine Lawn with the high dew points. Somehow I survived. It was a shorter walk than when I went to Deer Park. I guess that's why. It was still brutal, but the sky was really nice blue sky. You get that when you get that subsidence around these tropical systems, and sure enough, that's exactly what we had. Islip 77, dew point 74. Let's see, they got up to 85. Dew points are in the 70s all day. And we'll look at West Hampton, which will probably be a little cooler, and then we'll look at the city. 73, dew point 71. Let's see what West Hampton got up to. 83, so a little cooler there on the South Shore, but very humid, dew points in the mid-70s. And we'll look at the city. I'm sure the city was pretty hot today. Let's see what the Central Park got up to today. Sure, they probably got up there. So 78 right now at Central Park, and it got up to 89 there. Not quite 90. And again, that marine flow helped out. It might have even helped out Jersey because they had south to southeast winds there too in Toms River, so they may not have gotten too hot anyway. 77, dew point 73, and the high there was 87. So actually, not any hotter there than it was here. because of that southeast wind. So let's take a look at the radar, and we'll take a look at the storm on the radar now. We've got a couple of radars we're going to look at here. We'll first look at this one here, so you can clearly see it right there. There it is. There it is, right there. You can sort of see it right there. There it is. So this thing looks pretty well developed, I have to say. And again, with such warm water, we could see hurricanes form, maybe even Cat 2s or 3s in this area this year because of the warm waters. It's very concerning. Very concerning. Let's take a wider look at the radar here. Come on. So you can clearly see, you can sort of see the edge of it right there. There it is. There's the edge of it right there. I don't know if we have any buoy readings. Let me go right to the weather and hazards map. Let's see what the conditions are further south as far as the winds go. I don't see any strong winds here being reported, but you can clearly see where it is. You can clearly see where it is. I'd like to see some buoy reports in that area, but the buoy reports for some reason are not working on this. Buoy, alright, this buoy here reports a water temperature of 72. But all the other buoys, they're missing. They're not even showing up on here. And this is Block Island. Alright, there's another buoy here. Oh my god, off Barnegat Bay, the water temperature is 79? Oh my god, that's insane. So, yeah, I don't know why all these buoys are down. I don't know if there's some kind of... I don't put anything past the Trump administration trying to keep this... They want to... You know, they want to... Everybody doesn't want to talk about climate change. It's like... So, we're going to look at this. Radar here. There, that one shows up nicely here. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can clearly see it here. I don't know. I think this is a simulation radar, but you can see here it is, right off Virginia Beach. Look at that thing. So, record-breaking Tropical Storm Fay forms off, yes, it's a broken record that stood since the 2005 season. So, record-breaking tropical forms off the Atlantic coast. An area of showers and thunderstorms the forecasters were scrutinizing all week has developed into Tropical Storm Fay off the coast, adding what has usually been an unusually busy start to the 2020 hurricane season. This is the sixth named storm in the Atlantic. Allows another record to be added to the book as the earliest named F storm to form in the basin in the satellite area, which dates back to the 1960s. So here you go. I mean, this is really disturbing, to say the least, what we're seeing here. Very disturbing. Let's look at the lightning and see how much lightning is being generated. There's decent amount of lightning offshore here, so there's good amount of convection with this. It's got warm water to work with. It's got favorable conditions for development. So let's go to the Tropical Tidbit site. We can look at some more satellite information from here. So here is the enhanced infrared satellite of Fay, which is waiting for it to load. You can see, really, this storm looks very disturbing, and I'm really nervous about this thing. Really nervous about it. This thing is really taking off, and I said last night that expect the unexpected with this. Well, looking at the official Nhc Hurricane Forecast, so this is, you can see it's moving it as a tropical storm, and it keeps it a tropical storm over area. I think it will be probably a minimal. I think the winds could go up to 55 miles an hour on this, maybe even 60. But who knows? You could have explosive growth that we weren't anticipating. You know, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Here's a surface plot, a marine surface plot. Can't really see too much in that. So let's take a look at the models, the global and hurricane models here. So pretty much, some of them still take it a little further east out over the water. Some of them take it further west. And I'm leaning a little bit toward, I think it's going to be in between the two. I don't think it's going to be taking as far track west as some people are thinking it will. So I guess we will go look at the models here. Let's go to the models here, and we'll go ahead and start looking at them. And again, we're just focusing on Tropical Storm Fay in this weather update. We're not going to be looking past the weekend because I have my hands full, and a lot of people in the weather community do right now. So we're going to look at the GFS here, see how this tracks it. And you can see it tracks it more west. It takes it up through like Delmarva, and then west of New Jersey with the heaviest rain going to our west. That's the GFS. Now, if we were to look at the GFS here, at the total rainfall, you'll see that the Long Island gets chipped, especially the east end, and it's just the western part of Long Island that sees an inch of rain, and then the really heavy 2-inch plus stuff is over extreme southern New Jersey into eastern Pennsylvania. That's the GFS's idea anyway. But let's go look at the some of the other models out there. We'll look at the NAM. We'll start with the 12-kilometer NAM. This is the 0Z. I don't have enough of that in. We have to use the 18Z. So here is the NAM. And you can see, again, this thing, it just tracks it further away. I don't know if it's... This is a little further east now. You can see the center further east, and it gives us a lot more heavy rain. I'm leaning toward the NAM. I think this center stays over the water, just off the Jersey Shore, and then comes up through New York Harbor. And if that's the case, it's going to maintain some strength, and we're going to get walloped with some heavy rain. It looks like a heavy rain band late tomorrow afternoon. And this would give us a lot more rain, probably. Let's see the total accumulated precip on that. Yes, so that brings the heavy rain more over Long Island and the Jersey Shore, so we'd see 2-inch plus amounts on the Jersey Shore up through New York City, lower Hudson Valley, into Nassau and western Suffolk, and then the eastern part could get a little less. But this is something that I'm thinking is a little more realistic as far as the rainfall amounts go. We want to also look at the winds, so let's go ahead and look at the wind now on the NAM. The wind, I think, is just going to be mainly an issue along the coast. But along the coast, there could be some coastal flooding and flooding from the rainfall. So this is something to keep in mind. And said some of those winds offshore will be sustained at 25 to 30 miles an hour right at the beach. And that's definitely a concern right there. So this is the NAM. I'm going to go to the 3-kilometer NAM now, and we're going to look again at the precipitation as well as the cloud signature on this. Yeah, I'll use this setting here, radar and 10M wind, so you can get an idea of the wind. And there it is. There's that really heavy stuff. It looks like it still brings a lot of it over the Jersey Shore, and then Long Island gets into a little bit of it, but not like Jersey. It looks like this would really nail Jersey on this particular run. So, but this is close enough that it could hit us too. Like I said, I still think this thing tracks a little further east. It still is tracking. I still think it tracks a little further east than that. I really do. At least that's the way it's looking when I look at the satellite. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and go to the HRRR model next. Let's look at the 0Z HRRR. So here is the HRRR model, and you can see this is Friday morning. You can see it is definitely walloping. I won't say walloping, but things are going to be pretty stormy in Delmarva and then southern New Jersey, and then into the afternoon we start getting into that heavy rain. You can see that arc of heavy rain moving through right around 4 o'clock, probably 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Then we get a little break. But it's going to get, and look at how tight those isobars are. So there could be some wind in there. So let's see what this is Saturday. It does move it along, though, and by Saturday, the storm is already well up and past Albany. Let's see what the total rainfall is on this. So, yeah, we're seeing that 2-inch amount. I think that 2-inch amount will get to Long Island. I really do. And Jersey Shore, I really do. We'll look at the winds. Yeah, you can see some reds there, so some sustained winds up. The South Shore is going to see a lot of wind, I think, from this. A lot of wind. But they'll dislike the video because they're not happy with the weather forecast. Well, don't even get me started on them. But you could see that wind there off the South Shore. And it could be pretty bad. Hey, look, I can't change the weather, all right? I can't protect you from it. You choose to live along the coast, then you got to deal with those problems. And this is the wind at 850 millibars on the HRRR, and that's some pretty strong gusts. So the thing is, with 50 mile an hour sustained winds at 850 millibars, if you have a shower or thunderstorm, that could bring those strong winds down to the surface. So I'm thinking we could see some scattered power outages tomorrow from this. Yeah, like I said, expect the unexpected. This thing's got warmer water. Models based a lot of their output on history, and we have different conditions now with warmer oceans, and I think this is going to turn out to be stronger than modeled as far as the way this storm goes. So that's the HRRR. We'll have a couple more. I'm not even going to bother with the RGM. Let's look at the. I will look at the RGM. This is the 18Z RGM. Let's see how this. I'm just curious about the track of this thing. The RGM is way too weak with this. What a mess. I'm not even going to use that. Let's take a look at the ICON model. This is the ICON model. See, this tracks it. This is a track that I believe that we're going to see. And this is based on the Euro. It's a little slower. And this is what I'm thinking. Now, this will probably give us even more rain. So let's see how much rain we get there. That. Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll see 1 to 2 inches on Long Island is a good bet. Jersey Shore, maybe even over 2 inches. Maybe parts of Long Island over 2 inches. It's going to be a lot of rain, which we do need. We do need. It's the only way we're going to really get rid of our rainfall deficit here at this point. GFS is just too far to the west. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So let's go back to the NAM 12 kilometer, and I'm going to look at the dew points just to show you the humidity that the humidity that the storm is bringing in here. This is the zeros. I really don't have enough of that. This is deep tropical air that we're going to see. So dew points well into the 70s tomorrow. Very humid. And then it moves away, and then we stay with the humidity for Saturday. And you see some dry air trying to get in, but we're not going to focus on that. This is Sunday. You can see strong south winds still. We can look at the high temperatures for that day. Get the high temperatures for tomorrow. It won't be that hot. Probably be in the upper 70s to around 80. It heats up more on Saturday. That's when we see it because the sun might come out. But still, with that strong southerly flow, I'm thinking it's going to keep Long Island in the 80s. And same thing for Sunday. But if you're in Jersey, you're going to bake. You're going to be above 90, I think. So it's going to be brutal there. We can look at the GFS as well, the temperatures. So this is the GFS, and the GFS is a little hotter on Sunday. So it could be North Shore could hit 90, but the South Shore will be cool. South Shore will be the place to be. And obviously, it's running a little hotter on Saturday. I'm thinking some parts of the island, probably middle and the North Shore, could get close to 90, but still hotter. And with that strong south wind, I don't see this is going to be a strong marine influence over the island. So I'm thinking if you're in Jersey, you're gonna be a lot worse off with that. Let's look at the cloud signature on the GFS. So here's the cloud signature. And yeah, it has the sun out on Saturday. And then for Sunday, a mostly sunny day, but very humid. Look at the NAM, 3 kilometer, and then I got to go to windy.com. Look at that site as well. That's based on the Euro. So here is the cloud signature. You can see that cloud signature. I think it's going to be a little more impressive than what this model is showing. But Saturday, we might get rid of the cloud. We might. I don't know if we're going to have a mostly sunny day or not. The NAM has more cloudiness, so obviously it has it cooler on Saturday. Sunday would be the hotter day. All right, let's go to windy.com. And you can see there it is. There's Fay, right? Let's put this here. So there's Fay. We'll look at the sustained winds here. This shows a nice center here. You can see, wow, it has a really nice wrapped up center there. By this is 1 p.m. tomorrow. It has a nice wrapped up center around Cape May there. 22 mile an hour sustained wind at Atlantic City. Let's move it along to 5 p.m. It's moving slow. You can see 5 p.m. Still dealing with the strong winds in Atlantic City. There's going to be flooding at the Jersey Shore, and you see the winds are picking up even more. Let's go to 1 a.m. Saturday. You can see it's got the slow movement, the Euro. And sustained winds offshore are 20, 30 miles an hour. So that's pretty impressive. That's going to cause some coastal flooding, I'm telling you. So once Saturday comes, it's over. But Friday night, late Friday afternoon, Friday night, it's going to be rough, especially on the South Shore. And then we go to the wind gusts. So we're going to do this is where it gets a little more impressive. So we back it off here. Again, this is windy.com based on the European model. Let's back this up to 11 a.m. tomorrow. So you can see there's the center of it. Pretty well defined, and you can have gusts off the Delmarva. You have 50 miles an hour. You got to remember, all the trees have leaves on them now, so it's going to be a lot more power outages. There are 41 mile an hour gusts, probably off the Atlantic City coast. Let's go to 7 p.m. tomorrow, and we're seeing those gusts into the 7 p.m. tomorrow. We're seeing gusts on the South Shore 30, but then it gets worse as you're heading to the wee hours Friday night. Look at that. The Jersey Shore is going to be seeing wind gusts close to 50 right from the east. That's going to pile the water in. So expect a lot of coastal flooding. This is going to cause a lot of coastal flooding. Power outage impact, there'll be a power outage impact. It's probably scattered, but a lot of coastal flooding. That wind, 41 miles an hour gust here. This Saturday morning was still dealing with strong wind gusts from the south. Early Saturday morning, 8 a.m., and then as you get later in the day, conditions improve. But you still have very strong southerly wind gusts of 36 miles an hour. So with such a strong onshore flow, it's going to tend to keep the temperatures down, but we'll have a lot of humidity. And we'll still have that flow on Sunday, maybe more of a southwesterly component, which could make the middle of the island hotter. You can sort of see 4 p.m. on Sunday, this difference here where the South Shore is a nice breeze, but the middle of the island and the North Shore is going to be baking. Let's see if that translates to the surface. You can sort of see with the temperatures. But like I said, I'm not going to get too hung up on that right now. Let's look at the waves. This is all about Fay right now. Here is Friday. We got wave height to 10 feet, 9 feet, probably 9 feet. This is off the Jersey Shore. Let's move this along to 9 p.m. Friday. Gets worse. We see those wave heights at 10 feet. Off the Jersey Shore. Let's move it to 2 a.m. And here is the South Shore now getting hit. An overnight period from Friday night into Saturday morning. That's going to be very rough for the South Shore. And the East End, too. It's mainly that southeasterly components. The East End from Montauk on the South Shore, you're going to have some coastal flooding. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And this is just a taste of what could be a very bad tropical storms and hurricane season for our area. So you've been warned. That's all I can say. When you have water temperatures this warm, this storm I think is going to be worse than modeled. So I'll keep you posted on it. I'll have another weather update tomorrow. Take care, everybody.